Hello students, welcome to the lecture on economic system, and after this lecture we will be able to learn the following objectives. Explain different aspects of an economy, discuss the unemployment and infrastructure, describe the health and education, explain inflation, understand budget and fiscal deficits. Let's start with the concept of economic system. An economic system is a system that involves the production, distribution and consumption of goods and services between the entities in a particular society. The economic system is composed of people and institutions, including their relationships to productive resources, such as through the convention of property. In a given economy, it is the systematic means by which problems of economics are addressed, such as the economic problem of scarcity through allocation of finite productive resources. Examples of contemporary economic systems include capitalist systems, socialist systems and economic system. Economic systems are the economics category that includes the study of respective systems. Economic systems, the way in which humankind has arranged for its material provisioning. One would think that there would be a great variety of such systems, corresponding to the many cultural arrangements that have characterized human society. Surprisingly, that is not the case. Although a wide range of institutions and social customs have been associated with the economic activities of society, only a very small number of basic modes of provisioning can be discovered beneath this variety. Let us now discuss the different aspects of an economy. Majorly, economies are of three types, namely market economy, command economy, mixed economy. Though traditional economy is another type, but which is most converted into the rest three economies. What is market economy? This economic system emphasizes the freedom of individuals as consumers and suppliers of resources and allows market forces to determine the allocation of scarce resources through the mechanism called price. Based on market demand and supply, consumers are free to buy goods and services of their choice and producers allocate their resources based on the demand. Decisions made by producers and consumers are greatly influenced by price. An increase in the price of a product without a corresponding increase in cost increase profit. Such a result, manufacturers allocate more resources to that particular product. On the other hand, if consumers do not like to buy a product, supply would exceed demand and price would fall, resulting in a low profit or even a loss can occur to the producer. Advantage producers makes the goods at the lowest cost of production and consumers gets the best quality of goods and services at the cheapest prices. What is command economy? In a command economy, all the economic decisions are taken by the government, what to produce, how to produce and for whom to produce. Thus, all decisions from the allocation of resources to the distribution of end products are taken care of by the government. In this type of systems, efficient can be achieved only when demand are accurately estimated and resources allocated accordingly. The government had complete control over the economy and consumers were just the price takers. The government set output targets for each district and factory and allocated the necessary resources. Advantage: prices are controlled and this allows for greater equality in the economy. What is mixed economy? Mixed economy is a combination of free market economy and command economy. Here, government controls the price fluctuations to achieve certain objectives such as high level of employment and low level of inflation. A mixed economy uses cost-benefit analysis to answer the fundamental questions discussed earlier: what, how and for whom to produce. A cost-benefit analysis helps to access the full costs and benefits to society arising from a particular decision or project. Decisions or projects affecting the economy as a whole are taken or accepted only when the social benefits from the decisions of project are greater than the social costs. Population. Rapid population growth rates can make it difficult for countries to raise standards of living and protect the environment because the more people there are, the greater the need for food, health, care, education, houses, land, jobs, and energy. Adding more people to a country's population means that the wealth must be distributed among more people, causing GNP per capita to increase at least in the short term. Poverty. Poverty means different things in different countries. In Europe, the poor are those whose income falls below 60% of the median. Britain uses these three measures: one relative, one absolute, and a broader indicator of material deprivation, such as whether a child can celebrate his birthday. The concept of poverty becomes even more slippery when attempting international comparisons. Now moving on to the next topic, we will study the unemployment and infrastructure. Unemployment is a significant contributor to poverty, and a broad definition of employment would include 30% of economically active South Africans. Unemployment rates tend to be highest among Africans in rural areas, among women and the youth, and among those with no previous work experience. There is a strong link between unemployment and poverty. Using the broad definition of unemployment, in 1995 the rate of unemployment was 59% among the poorest quintile, fifth of the population, compared to 5.5% among the richest quintile. With respect to the characteristics of the people in the poorest quintile, 93% of the unemployed poor are Africans, 56% are female, 70% are below the age of 35, 58% are from rural areas, 50% have completed primary education or less, and 72% have had no previous job experience. Infrastructural services such as communications, power, transportation, provision of water and sanitation are central to both the activities of households and a nation's economic production. Energy, electricity. The Energy Information Administration forecasts that electricity use will increase by 29% by the year 2030. New capital investments in electricity production, transmission and distribution systems are needed to meet this demand. More importantly, capital investments are needed to improve energy efficiency and to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. Both the public and private sectors are involved in maintaining electricity infrastructure, although private utility companies generally provide the largest share of investment. Natural gas pipeline construction. Natural gas currently represents the second most important source of energy for the US after petroleum. Unlike petroleum, almost all natural gas consumed in the US comes from domestic sources or is imported from Canada. Demand for natural gas is expected to grow in the future. Communication. Communications are often not considered part of the primary bundle of development services in developing countries. However, reliable telecommunications provide access to information, employment opportunities, education, and health facilities, which in turn impact on productivity, and social networks, which in turn influence the ability of individuals and households to participate productively in the economic sphere. Almost half of Telcom's 4.1 million telecommunications lines are installed in Gauteng and the Western Cape, while the most poorly serviced provinces are the Northern Province and the Eastern Cape. 85% of white households have a telephone line, compared with 14% of African households. Transportation, highways, roads and bridges. The nation's highways, roads and bridges constitute the single most important transportation system for the US population and economy. Aviation. According to forecasts compiled by the Federal Aviation Administration, the number of passengers flying on commercial airlines is expected to increase at an annual rate of 3.0% a year from 2008 to 2025. By the end of this period, annual passenger travel is expected to reach 1.3 billion. This increase in volume will require capital investments in airport capacity and air traffic control systems if congestion and delays are to be minimized and passenger safety maintained. Updating the traffic control system has been going on since the mid-1980s, but the process has taken longer and required more investment than initially thought. According to the results of a survey administered to the nation's 100 largest airports by the Airports Council International, North American branch, annual capital investment needs over the period 2007 to 2011 total $17.5 billion. This represents a $3.2 billion increase over the assessment of annual investment needs from 2005 to 2009. The FAA estimates the shortfall in investment funds available to be somewhat lower, $1 billion per year from 2006 to 2011 based on airport master plans and ACI estimates. Mass transit. Increased usage of public transportation is one of the most efficient ways to promote energy conservation in the United States. It is therefore a positive development that public transportation has been growing steadily in recent years. The increase in demand for public transportation accelerated sharply over 2007 to 2008 as gas prices at the pump rose as high as $4.00 a gallon. Despite these improvements, public investment must increase further if the transit system is to be maintained, and beyond this, if public transportation is to become an increasingly significant means of promoting energy conservation. According to the 2006 status of the nation's highways, bridges and transit investments must total $15.8 billion a year just to maintain the current operating system. This would represent an increase of $3.2 billion a year over current levels. But to meet government operational and performance targets by 2024, annual investments must grow to $21.8 billion, requiring an additional $9.2 billion. Inland waterways and leaves. Approximately 2.6 billion short tons of commodities are transported on U.S. navigable waterways each year, an extremely cost-efficient transportation system. The Army Corps of Engineers maintains and operates the inland waterways system, which includes 257 lock systems nationwide, the average age of which is 55 years. According to the American Society of Civil Engineers, by 2020, 80% of the lock systems will be functionally obsolete without new infrastructure investments. The estimated cost of updating all the lock systems is $125 billion. In addition, the Army Corps of Engineers access the state of nation's levees and flood control systems amounting to 2,007 levees, totaling 13,000 miles, which include projects built and maintained by the Corps of Engineers, projects built by the Corps of Engineers and subsequently transferred to a local owner to maintain, and projects built by local communities. In 2007, the Corps identified 122 levees across the country which are in need of additional maintenance and repair. The investment needed to update the lock system, combined with an additional $30 billion to improve the nation's levees, would total $155 billion, or about $6.2 billion annually over the next 25 years. Let's know the meaning of health